Welcome to Joe Stunner Boxing. Murodjon Akhmadaliev paved the way for a fight with NAOYA INOUE. The Uzbek fighter stopped Mexico's Luis Castillo in 8 rounds. And this was not a fight that was going to instill any sort of horrors into Mr. Inoue, who, to be honest with you, must have been, like the rest of us, quite bored for the first half of this fight, because it did last 8 rounds. But for the first 4, Akmadaliev was just sauntering through it. There was no real urgency, no real effort. I mean, Castillo came in with 31 wins, 20 KOs, 6 defeats. He's been stopped once by Tomoki Kameda. That was in 5 rounds. That was about 2 and a bit years ago. And in fact, he'd lost 3 of his last 5. So very much in the gatekeeper role. He tried his heart out, did Senor Castillo, but he couldn't do anything with Akmadaliev, who just looked physically so much stronger, hit so much harder. But like I say, he kind of sauntered through it. There was almost a sort of disdain there. I'm almost tempted to say a disinterest in this fight. And the people, the audience, members of the audience were booing from as early as like the 1st and 2nd round. It did heat up a little bit, mainly in the 5th round, when Akmadaliev landed a big left hook to the body and put Castillo over, down on one knee. He got up Castillo. Game guy, Castillo. I mean, like I say, he's in that gatekeeper role where he'll give you work if you let him. And then in the 6th round, he went down again from a left hook that landed on the top of the head and sort of unhinged him, and he sort of went down, got up, carried on, desperately trying to win the fight, throwing lots of punches, more punches, I think, than Akmadaliev threw. But MJ, he got the job done in the 8th because he really started to not just beat, but really badly beat up Castillo, who had blood coming out of his nose, his mouth, and his abrasions under and over his eyes. He was staggering around the ring, and then the referee, there was no one particular punch that caused the referee to stop it. He stepped in, I think, just as the towel came in and stopped the fight. But you were hoping that Akmadaliev would make a statement here. I mean, he's going to get this shot at Inoue in September. He's 30 years of age. He's got a 13-1 record, 10 KOs in the wins column. His only defeat was, a disputed split decision to Marlon Tapales, who went on to fight and get stopped in 10 rounds by Inoue. But since then, this is his 3rd win on the bounce. And his third stoppage, so you can't really complain. But you were hoping there was a statement made, like get rid of Castillo in 2 or 3 rounds, highlight reel knockout, and no way, I'm coming for you. That wasn't the case. It just was not the case at all, because Akmadaliev, he was loading up too much, probably thinking, this is easy, this guy can't hurt me, and he couldn't hurt him because Castillo did land punches. I don't think at any point was Akmadaliev bothered at all. 20 KOs in 31 wins for Castillo, yeah, but what's the quality opposition been like? Plus the fact there's a lot of miles on the clock with Castillo, and he just looked like a fighter who was not on a par with his opponent. At 30, Akmadaliev will. He'll get the shot against Inoue, but this might be his last chance at the real big time, because he kind of blew it when he fought Tapales. He has been a belt holder before, and he lost a couple of the 2 belts he had. I think it was the WBA and the IBF. He lost those to Tapales, who then lost the undisputed title to Inoue. And he has got some good wins. He beat Ronnie Rios. That was a good win. Akmadaliev. He's got decent wins. Daniel Roman, he beat. That was a split decision. That was a long time ago. That was about 5 years ago. Jose Velasquez, that wasn't a bad win. That was another 12-rounder. I mean, he can do the rounds, no problem. So if you're not worried about doing rounds, and this was a 10-rounder, not a 12-rounder, I suppose you're going to be thinking, well, I'll just tick over. I'll land the odd big bop. I'll just see what he's got, and then I'll lower the boom, which is kind of what happened. but you just wanted a bit more spite. Now, there's a flip side to this, which could be that Inoue might look at this fight and think, oh, this guy's got nothing. He's lost to Parles. He looked pretty lousy against Castillo. Not lousy, but absolutely nothing to bother me. Yeah, I'd take this guy out easy, no problem. And then Akmadaliev turns up and fights a bit more like he did against Ricardo Espinosa, where he blew him out in 3 rounds. And Espinosa was another one of these gatekeeper types who can cause you problems if you let him. You were hoping that against Castillo he would have the same type of nastiness, the same type of urgency, but he still got the job done in 8. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to the fight with Inoue, don't get me wrong. September it's scheduled for. But I would expect Inoue to win. That's not to say it's a foregone conclusion, because Akmadaliev does hit very hard, and he hits to the body pretty well as well. Like I say, the first knockdown against Castillo was a hook to the body. Has anyone ever really tried to go for Inoue's body? Be interested to see what happens. But of course, let's not forget, Inoue himself is a terrific body puncher, or he's just a terrific power puncher. So I would make Inoue definitely a favourite in this fight, but would not entirely rule out Akmadaliev. I think this is probably a 65-35, maybe a 70-30 fight for Inoue. But bigger upsets have happened, make no mistake about it. So tell me what you thought about this fight. If you saw it, what do you think about Akmadaliev's chances against Inoue? Do you think he was just sort of treading water with this fight? Well, he was, wasn't he, in terms of the win? But in terms of his performance, was he just going through the motions? I mean, Caleb Plant just lost to Resendiz. He blew his fight with Charlo because he lost. It can happen, but not today. Not for Akmadaliev, who got the win. But let me know what you think. Comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also hit the like button if you like the video. And thank you very much for all your support. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. Bye for now.